맛있는 냄새 나지?
나 맨날 저 고기 냄새
음. 램프 네가 만든 거야?
아닌데.
아 진짜야 내가.
소리가 안 나.
보고 싶으면 봐도 되겠지. 우와, 깜짝아.
Down well away from the perfect guy. I can't have a bad temper, make a big fuss and cry. And I know that lately it's been hard. We had a bumpy ride. But if you give me one more chance, I make it effortless. So if you want to come back home, I will be cooking Sunday breakfast all week long. We're gonna go and skate on frozen lakes, spend the morning baking cakes with the glowing earth love has given us wings, and and we're supposed to go high. But life got in the way, and we forgot to fly. And now I think that we're ready to finally leave the nest. We take a little leap of faith, and I will do the rest. So if you want to come back home, I will be cooking Sunday breakfast. We're gonna go and skate on frozen lakes, spend the morning baking cakes with the glowing of our love. So if you want, come back home. I will be cooking Sunday breakfast for a clown. We're gonna go and skate on frozen lakes, spend the morning
혹시 엄마
baking cakes with the glowing.
너무 더워.
그래도 아침 추워. 가.